Hello, 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 everyone. We have about 2 minutes before we officially start, and I am nervous, excited, and I feel so purpose driven for this. This is going to be an amazing show going forward. Um, I really feel like we can help a lot of people, and not just myself, but I'm using myself as the voice to get it going. I'm an innovator and a creator, so doing things like this is just what my calling is. And I never paid attention to it in my younger years when I was married, raising children. It wasn't until I started empty nesting. My children were grown, and I had to figure out something to do with that time when I was so purpose driven on raising my children and making sure they grew to be productive, amazing citizens. And they are. And now I'm focusing my attention on more pressing things. I'm a natural nurturer. So this just aligns with everything I'm doing. Instead of raising and taking care of small children, I feel like I can help navigate and nurture everyone. So let's get started. First and foremost, this is Dominican mindset because I love how they stand and protect their culture. They become one. So the name that I came up with, Dominion Omega Strategics, comes from that. So before we get started, I want to go over important legal disclaimers. I want to remind everyone that the content shared in this episode is based on my personal experiences, and the strategies discussed are those I've used in my journey. They are shared for educational and informational purposes only. This is not legal advice. The information provided here should not be used as substitute for professional legal advice or counsel. Every situation for everyone is unique. And I encourage you to seek advice from a licensed attorney or a professional who is equipped to guide you through any personal or legal matters. It's when your back is up against the wall and you have to help yourself where this comes in. The stories I share today reflect my individual experiences and how I navigated specific situations. I'm not making any claims about legal outcomes or offering definitive solutions. Instead, I'm sharing how strategic thinking and personal decision making played a critical role in my journey. And if I had to sum it up simply, I used a lot of common sense. I will be speaking openly about my personal strategy and decisions, but these are not guaranteed to work for anyone. So only use what I'm speaking to help advise your situation, but don't think you have to do exactly as I did or go off of every word I say. I hope and pray that you do your own due diligence. We're all adults. So please remember to consider all aspects of your own situation before taking any action. This is my favorite part because I feel like in our today's world, if we would think before we would react, 98% of the times we would have a better outcome. So now let's dive in today's episode. So I want to welcome everyone again to Dominion Omega Strategics, the path to mastery. I'm your host, Chantel, and I'm so excited to have you join me as we begin our journey to master level strategy. And in today's episode, we're diving into the fundamentals of strategic thinking. And I will be introducing you to one of the most important questions you'll need to ask yourself as you start any battle, whether it's business, legal, or personal. So I want to ask you guys, what is strategy? Feel free to ask questions in the comments or email strategy.dos@gmail.com and all your questions will be answered. I'm going to share my insights on what strategy really means, why it's more than just planning, and how it's been a game changer in my own journey. Woo, thank God for it, or else mentally, I don't know how I would have last. You have to be a strong person to battle and endure what I just have, especially against powerful opponents. But first, let's take a look at difference between strategy and tactics, a distinction that will shape the way you approach everything in your life. Now, let's begin with the fundamentals. What is strategy? At its core, strategy is about making decisions today that will help you succeed tomorrow. It's not just about reacting to things as they happen. It's about being proactive, thinking ahead, anticipating what's coming, and making long-term decisions that will benefit you even when things get tough. So basically, thinking ahead, thinking long term instead of thinking in the moment is how we strategize. Think of it like a chess game. In chess, it's just not about knowing your next move, it's about understanding how each move fits into a larger plan. And this same mindset is exactly what you need when navigating life, legal battles, or business decisions. I'll share a personal example. When I first started my fight for justice, I had no idea what I was up against. And this is a very true statement. But I knew one thing: I had to start thinking beyond the immediate because I had all of these people. Like it was me, it is me, because I'm currently still going through it against an entity, several businesses, and a whole community were all together against little old me. It's not just about knowing your next move. It's about understanding how each move fits into a larger plan. And this same mindset is exactly what you need when navigating. Again, I stress life, legal battles, or business decisions. So I had to think about what I had to deal with when I had no idea what I was up against. I couldn't afford to just focus on the next step. I had to think about how each decision would affect my long term goal of winning. So I had to pay attention to the words that came out of my mouth, make sure they were legally sound. That's where strategic thinking really took roots because I had to dig. If I say this, will it, even though it's true, but will it affect my case? Because eventually, because I'm not a licensed attorney, I would have to take on an attorney. And I have to make sure that me using my strategic thinking to handle majority of the case, to collect all evidence, to do my research, to do my due diligence, to be able to hand over to attorney to an attorney, which would save them time so we wouldn't have to go through a long, drawn out legal battle because they had to get prepared. I would hand them a detailed, specific, strong timeline with evidence all organized really neatly and hand it to them. So I had to really think about how each decision would affect my long term goal of winning. And those are the things I thought about. That's where strategic thinking really took root. Now, just a quick reminder, everything I'm sharing today is based on my personal experience. These are not legal tactics or advice. If you're facing real legal challenges or navigating difficult situations, please seek out a licensed professional who can provide guidance tailored to your specific needs. This is not legal advice, but rather strategic insight based on my own journey. Now, let's talk about a key distinction that many people get confused about: strategic thinking, strategy, tactics. Tactics are the short term actions. This is what we normally use. You take to achieve a specific, immediate goal. For example, in a legal case, a tactic could be filing a motion or responding to a letter. These are necessary, but they're not enough to guarantee long term success. Now, strategy, of course, on the other hand, is about the bigger picture. It's about thinking long term and planning in such a way that every move you make fits into a larger vision for success. While tactics are steps, strategy is the plan. And again, I want to reiterate for people that are just now listening, this is my very first podcast of me doing this on my own. I've been on a couple of other amazing podcasts. I've asked questions on how some of the hosts navigate. I've never done this before, but I'm needing to reach masses. And this is a way that I find that you can. So if you hear me stumbling on my words or backplaying, I'm a little nervous because I've never done this before. But one thing and two for sure, I always master everything I attempt. So it will get better as we go forward and I get more comfortable with this. So let's start back where I left off. And I'm using my notes, but I created all of this. Um, Now, back to strategy. On the other hand, it's about the bigger picture. It's about thinking long term and planning in such a way that every move you make fits into a larger vision for success. While tactics are steps, strategy is a plan. And we all love plans. We should have plans. You hear a lot of people referencing, oh, I don't make plans because they never happen. Well, true, because nothing's perfect. Some won't happen, but it does not stop you from planning anyway. It gives you or provides you structure in life, gives you something, a goal to accomplish, gives you something to be able to look forward to. So, in my own case, when I was facing powerful opponents, as I am now, they tried to overwhelm me with tactics, delaying, dismissing, or trying to derail my efforts because they know I wasn't a legal attorney or else I would have introduced myself as such. And they did not know me. They did not know my intellect. They did not know the type of woman that I am. They did not know my morals, my principles, my purpose. They didn't know any of this about me. But I didn't fall into the trap of reacting to each small move. Instead, I kept my focus on the long term strategy. I didn't get distracted by their immediate actions. I stuck to my plan and kept my eye on the final goal because they will. They will threaten you with legal. They'll ignore you, they'll deflect, they'll deny, they'll do all of that, trying to scare you, trying to get you to go away, try to get you to second guess yourself, um, try to make it hard for you financially to outlast you so you can't fight for yourself. They will try all of this stuff first. These professionals, these people that we're supposed to look up to protect us in certain situations that only they are licensed to do. So I just found that really, at 51, I know this, but I never had proof of it because I've never went through what I've went through now. So it was definitely clarity. I'll say that. Because I'd heard the stories, I've seen some things, but until you go through it yourself, you will never fully grasp the understanding that I have now, the clarity that I have now. So, again, this is not legal advice, and I'm going to keep saying that because this is my personal platform that I'm using. And I'm just being transparent, open, and honest, and hoping my journey can help someone else. So, this is not legal advice. This is just an example of how strategic thinking can help you manage obstacles, save you time, save you money, regardless of the challenges you face. Always consult a legal professional if you are navigating a specific situation. That way, you'll know or you'll have your foundation where your strategic thinking needs to start. You'll be your own administration, your own secretary, your own assistant, however you see yourself. But who's better to protect you than you? So, in our next discussion, I want to talk about how strategy helps you stay ahead in challenging situations. One of the biggest lessons I learned was about anticipation. OMG. When you're dealing with a tough opponent, whether it's a business challenge, a legal issue, or anything else, you can't just react. You better stop and think. I stress that point. You need to anticipate what your opponent might do. So basically, you need to go ahead and go through that whole story of that particular situation and the outcomes it could have, good or bad. That's what I mean by that. You need to go ahead and play it out how it could go based off of certain situations and prepare for all of them. So, in my case, I anticipated that the opposing party would try to ignore me, undermine me, undermine my claim. So, I prepared by gathering all the evidence I could, and I'm a professional. So, the type of work we do audits, or we could be audited. So, we have to make sure we keep neat, organized files for at least 7 years for IRS purposes. And I navigate in the medical world and the business world. So I must comply to all of their compliance, which was amazing for me because I do it with life as well. I think that's a great rule to follow when we're following compliance because it actually teaches us a lot on a personal level. So this was so I prepared by gathering all the evidence I could, documenting everything and staying organized. I knew they would try to create delays and I didn't let them. This is anticipation. Anticipation was a part of my overall strategy and it gave me the upper hand because I stay ready to keep from getting ready. They're still getting ready and I'm already ready to go. And the longer that they stall me, I just get better and better. So basically, I placed myself 10 steps ahead of them by preparing and staying organized. This is why thinking ahead and anticipating moves is so crucial. It allows you to stay calm, stay organized, and not be blindsided by anything that could come your way. I am not acting, speaking, or feeling the detriment that has been caused to me in the past few months. Not demeaning anyone, but it takes a strong person mentally to be able to endure what I've endured in a professional way. This is not the way professionals are supposed to act. But we'll talk more about that later in another segment. So, as another reminder, this is based on my personal experience and how I applied strategic thinking to my situation. If you're dealing with legal or business matters, always seek professional advice or second opinion, and don't rely solely on personal experience. Do your due diligence, do your research, find other cases that are similar to yours, do comparisons. Comparisons are awesome. Comparisons are awesome because that lets them know there has been a court case out here previously that's relatable, gives attorneys, judges a foundation to go off of that has already been approved by law or that for that particular case. So, now that we've talked about the fundamentals of strategy, I hope you're beginning to see how strategic thinking can change the way you approach your own challenges, whether it's overcoming obstacles, facing a legal battle, or even just building your own personal business life. Having a strategic mindset is key to achieving long term success and keeping it. As we move through these series, we'll continue to build on these foundational concepts and gradually move into medium level strategies. But for now, I'd love to hear from you. Now, if you have anything that you'd like to know more about or any thoughts you'd like to share, please email us. I'm going to figure out a way for me to go live. I thought I was going live where you guys could actually listen because I'm not doing the video yet. I want to stay focused on the task at hand versus visuals. Um, I am a real person, though, as you see, I'm talking, and eventually I will reveal myself and continue on as I learn this more. But I thought this was live to where people could actually share or ask questions during this live and we could answer while we were all here. So, unfortunately, we can't because I don't have it set like that, but I'm going to figure it out. I wanted to go through the first segment. I'm taking notes on what I need to change to make this better. I'm introducing myself. Um, this is my baby, this platform. I've been looking for my calling, something I could do to really feel good in my soul. And I had been thinking about doing this for the past 4 or 5 years, but business, personal, and even nervousness stopped me from doing it. But now I'm purpose driven, as I stated at the beginning of this, and I'm excited about next week. And before I wrap up today's episode, I want to remind you that justice is possible for everyone. And you don't have to navigate these challenges alone. Whether you're dealing with small claims under 5,000, claims over 5,000, class actions, evictions, the complex world of cannabis law and compliance. We got you covered here because we can show you some strategies to ensure your own due diligence, even if it's checklists that you check off to make sure that you're doing everything that you need to do. Where consults, attorneys, they may charge for this. We're not. Email us at strategy.dos@gmail.com and we'll see how we can help you um, in your navigation on your journey that will be cost effective for you, save you money because we're not charging you anything, and save you a lot of time. So please, as someone passionate about the cannabis industry, in which I am, I have several businesses in the cannabis industry. I know how confusing and challenging it can be to stay on top of constantly evolving regulations. If you need help with cannabis compliance, I know the right people. I know a lot myself. I deal with medical cards, the patients being licensed to be able to purchase and being, of course, approved by a doctor to even be able to use. That should have came first. There's two steps in that: being approved by the doctor to use, and then being approved by your medical state to purchase. So contact us. We can help you there, help you understanding the legal documents or navigate your way through the legal cannabis landscape. I'm here to help. And the reason I'm focusing on cannabis because it is a underserved demographic. Traditional, there are so many people doing what I do right now that helps with traditional issues. There's not a lot of people helping with the cannabis. And the cannabis is a world in itself and it's brand new. So we have an open platform over here where we're learning on our own. And the only information we get is the law and compliance, but there's so much more to be able to add to that to help it be sustainable for everyone in this industry. So we want to help each other and grow. Now, we've broken down step by step processes to guide you, and we offer this support for free. Don't hesitate. Reach out to us, whether you're new to cannabis law or you're managing a cannabis business. We're here to help ensure you're on the right side of the law and thriving in this fast moving industry. Now, I want to talk about some of what I'm going through right now. As I've kind of mentioned, I have created a ecosystem for the cannabis industry in the form of a closed loop revolving line of credit. First time it's been done for the cannabis industry. Traditional world, hundreds. But for the cannabis industry, I have created something that starts from the seed and ends with the patient and everything in between, to help uplift, to help boost, to help sustain, to help keep safe. And this ecosystem hits all of these points. And this is why I'm going through what I'm going through. I happen to be doing it with some individuals I thought would be with me forever. They acted like they wanted to support me. The more and more they learned about what I was doing, I noticed I would see their eyes glitter or glimmer. When I'm talking about it, I could see when it was finally soaking in. And we actually went live back in October of 2024 and made this program a success. Well, after they saw it was a success and still instead of them relying on me to keep my word because this was my baby, I created it, I birthed it. I've been working on it for 4 years and I was going to share it with everyone that was involved because there was enough for everyone. Instead of them relying on that, they got greedy and locked me out of my own system. And we're currently battling it, and it's pre legal. I am actually trying them in the public court of opinion first because they're large. They have the money. They even said in text messages that, oh, we can outlast you. You don't have the money or the resource sources to fight us. So that's where my master strategy developed. I had to think of another way to be able to beat them. And I have won in the public court of opinion because my case is evidentiary. It's not circumstantial and it's not he say, she say. Anything that I speak about concerning it, I have receipts in the form of witnesses, text messages, emails, audio, video, evidence to prove everything I'm saying. So, this is my way to come here and kind of relax and unwind and have someone to talk to as I'm navigating all of this. So, and I figure each one teach one. Maybe one of you guys can give me more insight on how to continue navigating my journey until it's done. Or we could help someone else that happens to be listening. So I want you guys to stay tuned for next week's episode. We'll pick up here where we left off. I'll be posting this week what the topic will be. Something else. If you guys have topics that you would like to discuss and get other insight and feedback on strategic thinking, reach out to me by email strategy.dos@gmail.com, and I will post your question or we can discuss it in one of our segments. Again, this is new. I don't know exactly how this will navigate, but I had to start it and I did. So, we need real topics to strategically navigate through together. Um, Remember, you never have to go through anything alone. And always, my legal disclaimer, always remind yourself that I, Chantel, am speaking based on my personal experience and nothing more. So I want to thank you guys for tuning in. It's going to get better as I move forward, and you guys have a blessed rest of your Sunday evening. Thank you.